Before I get too much into this, I want to preface with the definitions of collectivism, individualism, patriarchy, and matriarchy, just so we're all on the same page. Collectivism is a theory advocating collective control, especially over production and distribution, a system marked by such control. Emphasis on collective rather than individual action or identity. Individualism is a doctrine that interests the individual are or ought to be ethically paramount, the conception that all values, rights, and duties originate in individuals. Matriarchy is a family, group, or state governed by a matriarch, a system of social organization in which descent and inheritance are traced through the female line. Patriarchy is a social organization marked by the supremacy of the father in the clan or family, the legal dependence of wives and children, the reckoning of descent and inheritance in the male line, control by men of a disproportionately large share of power, a society of institution organized according to the principles or practices of patriarchy. So for me, I look to the definitions as well as the current and past evidence we have of matriarchy versus patriarchy. And I would say what happens when women are in charge versus when men are in charge. When women are in charge, they tend to have this collective mindset about them. They're more interested in what serves the community rather than what serves the individual. When women are in charge, they focus more on education and taking care of the children and taking care of the elderly. I'll do another video on current and past matriarchies and get more into the nitty-grittiness of that. But when men are in charge, we see that there's a focus on the individualism. There's a little bit of energy of, I'm gonna get mine, or only focusing on the self. We see that when men are in charge, there's this oligarchy that's formed, and there's a small percentage of millionaires and billionaires at the top, and everyone else struggles at the bottom. This also isn't about when women are in charge, this always happens. When men are in charge, this always happens. This is simply illuminating the structure and the framework in which we're functioning from. So because we live in a patriarchal framework, we've also seen women in charge that don't necessarily serve the collective. I know Japan's prime minister is basically a female version of Trump, and that doesn't necessarily serve either. So what I'm interested in is not only women leading and having this collective mindset, but also not losing the individualism, not losing our own personal expression and our own personal path inside of it. And what does it look like to change the framework in which we function from? So it's not just women in charge inside of a patriarchy, but it's women leading with heart and divinity and being able to serve the collective and the individual, and there's nobody and nothing that gets left behind.